Hello there, I'm Daz. In this video I'll be making a walkthrough of the Nordic ruin Forelhost and the associated quest Siege on the Dragon Cult. So Forelhost is actually a little bit tricky to get to. There we are on the world map. The best way I find is to leave Riften by the north gate, heading out towards the stables, and then head down towards Broken Helm Hollow as if you're heading down to Fort Dawnguard. Once you get to Broken Helm Hollow you should see a path marked with cairns that leads up to Forelhost. So I'm going to head in there now. Once I get inside and I've dealt with the first few enemies, then I'll run through what we can expect to find within Forelhost.
You there, hold! If you're a true friend to Skyrim, you will help me in my mission. The General has sent me to obtain a powerful weapon for the war effort. This was the last great bastion of the Dragon Cult, and their leader's mask was reported to be quite powerful.
Right, Captain Valmir sounds like he's spinning me a bit of a tale, but I'll play along for now.
They were among the first men to arrive from Atmora, and they worshipped certain animals as avatars of the gods, dragons being foremost. And for their bloody sacrifices, the dragons gifted their priests with terrible power. But their cruelty was too great for men to bear, and they rose up in what would be called the Dragon War, and the cult swept from the land. Very good. The research I've done seems to indicate that Skorm Snowstrider left part of his journal here after laying siege. I believe it should indicate how to enter the blocked-off sections of the Stronghold.
Okay, so Valmir has the key. You can, of course, kill him and just take the key. But I'm gonna...
Forelhost is quite haunted, but I'm sure you can handle it.
Yeah,
Return
so
to me here once you've obtained...
I'm gonna play nice for now. So this is a 24 minimum, a level 24 minimum location. So not a good idea to tackle this early on in the game. Okay. So I'm not going to get obsessive about all of the loot in this place, but I will do my best to reveal all of the chests. So, at Forelhost, the Dragon Priest is called Rahgot, so we can claim his mask. And he will also be carrying a Dragon Priest staff as well. We can claim the Glass Claw. Also the spell Tome Flames, which isn't much use in itself. Everyone has a flame spell, but it may be useful for people that are keeping a library. We can also obtain the Restoration Skill Book Exodus. And when we have defeated the dungeon boss and make our way to the balcony area and the word wall, we can claim the Word of Power Storm Call. And also, for those of us with the Anniversary Edition installed, there is a hidden quest called the Lost Paladin, and once we've defeated the Lost Paladin we can pick up an enchanted two-handed sword called Chrysamere. So I'll get on with this now as fast as I can, because I suspect, judging by my practice run, I'll just jump over this. No, in fact I'll trigger this so you can see we've got a battering ram. Yeah, judging by my practice run, this could well be my longest video to date. Okay, so nothing in here. An empty chest. And a blocked passage, which is a recurring theme throughout this dungeon. We have a drop to gate here. We'll wind up on the other side of this eventually. But for now, we are forced to travel east. I'll try and light things up as I go along, but there are a lot of pretty strong enemies at my level. I'm going to be dealing with mainly Death Lords. So we've got a random helmet there and a novice chest right here. So there are also quite a few traps that are unavoidable. You'll see there's no pressure plate for this one, it's just triggered by proximity. A poor old Stormcloak's come a cropper. I'm going to be using the Become Ethereal shout quite a lot during this walkthrough. Hopefully I'll avoid being ragdolled too often once we run into the Death Lords. Okay, so I should have actually gone to the quest log. Give you a chance to read what's on screen. And the first optional objective is out of the way. Some information in this journal about a big battle that took place in the First Era. I need to take that, not just read it. A chest right there. I think that's going to be it for opening chests, to be honest. I'm not a big fan of the kill cams. I always wind up disorientated facing the wrong way, but you can't turn them off without mods. Right, I'll deal with this fella first, then head back up the stairs. Okay, so I've got a feeling that there is a chest around here somewhere. Yes, there is, with an adept lock. So I'll go to the map, show you where that is. For the players who are looking to collect as much loot as possible. Various urns. We've got some ore and ingots. I'll leave you to investigate those more closely. Quite a valuable elixir of strength on this shelf. The only thing of real note. Potion of healing. Soul gem. Nothing too much important. So before I head off through this door, need to avoid this trap there, and we have an apprentice locked chest here. Nothing else. Okay, another Death Lord. Right, so we've actually made decent time. So this is the gate that was dropped when I first entered. That leads back up to the entrance area. And we can now head to the second zone, which is Forelhost Crypt. I nearly said crisp. Must be all those burnt bodies. Right, you can actually skip a large part of this area if you are confident of picking a master level lock, but as this is a full walkthrough, I'm gonna have to do the whole thing. So this is the lock right here. I could pick it quite easily, but I won't. So I'm heading off in this direction in search of the key for that lock. And this is going to mean dealing with a mass of Death Lords, which I'm not looking forward to. Right, nothing fantastic in there. And this door is barred from the other side. We'll be exiting through that door a little later once we manage to get our hands on the key. Just make sure, yes. Chest there. Mind the floor plate. We're going to be heading out through this iron door. I'll just investigate this room first. Yep, only an urn, nothing else. Right, this triggers a trap, but I can't resist a shiny emerald. So there we are. This also triggers a dart trap. And as you can see, I've just triggered a rune. And there is another room right there. Okay. So that's how the map is looking right now. Luckily, a lot of these fellas, I'm not picking that lock. What am I doing? Yeah, luckily a lot of these fellas are heavy sleepers. A trap to avoid. Right, so this is why I use quite overpowered characters for these walkthroughs. Because I've got a feeling this is going to take around about 40 minutes as is. If I played fair, it would probably take about an hour and a half. Yep, traps everywhere. I'm not sure what this one triggers, to be honest. It's just one of those feeble dart traps. Okay, so that was just a generic dragon priest, obviously, not the main man. I'll still take his 250 gold though. And we should have the key, I think, in here. There we are. Forelhost well key. I'll take the healing potion. Although I'm unlikely to need it with this build. Right, before we leave this area we can skip over onto this ledge and we have an unlocked chest. And now up we go and open up the well. That's not very nice. There we are, lost my bearings for a moment. I'm gonna make a quick save now. I'll cure the brain rot first though. Yeah, because on the practice run I made earlier, I had a couple of crashes when I tried to use Become Ethereal, so I don't want to be starting right from scratch. Nah, just an ordinary Nord greatsword. I heard something clatter. Right, I'll deal with these enemies. I could probably run past them. Just a few skeevers. Okay, nothing much in this area. A quicksilver ore vein and a gold ore vein. Lootable egg sack with nothing really in there. And I've got a feeling I'm going to be pounced on by another bunch of Death Lords, but not before I managed to grab the first collectible. So here we are, Restoration Skill Book, The Exodus. One of those big circular traps on the floor.
Fight!
Okay. So just about to head into the Refectory area. This is actually not taking as long as I thought it might do. Maybe I need to slow down and concentrate on the loot a bit more. Okay, so we can take these hide braces safely, but I think that's just to lull us into a false sense of security, because if we take these ones, we get darts flung at us. We have another chest right there. Nothing amazing in there. Right. So we need to work our way around to where that Death Lord is. Lots of urns here, most of them are empty, but you may find a few that have got some coin inside. Right, I think there is a rune trap somewhere around here. Yep, there we are. Very easy to walk into that one. And obviously we've got these oil lamps. No, you don't. We don't want your frost Atron axe, my friend. So, we have a note here. I'll take that. And there are another couple of notes that are not really important, but may give people a little bit of backstory, as well as reading the journal that we've already picked up. Got another chest there, Adept Lock. I'll ignore that. We can now flip this lever. Just in case I get knocked off that balcony a little later. Damn. I think that's probably the farthest I've been Fuss Road hard, to be honest. Right. So we can find another note here. Alchemist's note. I'll take that, and right here we can find Rahgot's reply to that very same note. Lots of death bell and other assorted ingredients. And I'm gonna soon be stumbling upon the Flames spell tome. If I've not walked past it already, I don't think I have. No, here we are. Flames. I'm gonna make another quick save. No you don't, not again mate. Right, a spellcaster trap, which can be deactivated quite easily. So we have a couple of master locked doors. Well, I will pick this one actually, as long as it's not going to take too many attempts. But there's nothing too important in here. I think there's a random shield. Yeah, so iron shield of major blocking. I'm not sure if it's always an enchanted shield, but it was on the practice run and it has been on this as well. Ooh, I missed that trap. That's a master locked door as well, but that only leads into the spellcaster trap that's already been deactivated. There's nothing else in there. But obviously you can use that to raise your lockpicking skill if you so wish. Right, so this gate is up, and what we need to do in order to advance is to grab the glass claw. And we are right there on the map. So now we have another bunch of Death Lords, some of which are going to shout at us. An apprentice locked chest right there. Yeah, you can't shout through walls, my friend. We have a chest there with a trap attached. Missing the trap will trigger those spears. A floor trap, I'm not sure what that triggers. Flames. And now we have a use for the glass claw. So the code is fox, owl and snake. Okay, another quick save, because I had a problem right here on the practice run as well. Okay, so not too many problems. Let's get our gear. We need the balcony key in order to exit by the quickest route. So this is a wall of flames, sorry, Dragon Priest staff. We also have a treasure chest right there with some lovely amber. And the map marker is leading me back through the dungeon for some reason to return to Valmir, but obviously I'm not foolish enough to do that. This is a random chest piece. I feel sure that was an ancient Nord chest piece when I came through on the practice run. And we should now encounter the lost paladin, so we can pick up Chrysamere. I'm going to wind the time on so it's not pitch black, sorry about this. And there he is. No match for the Blood Scar Blade. And there is Chrysamere. When equipped, grants 15% fire resistance and 10% absorb magic. And it slows L3 generation during combat. I'm not sure what the stats are for that, but for me it's just going to be going onto a plaque in any case. Storm Call, lovely. And now I need to head back to Valmir.
The research research I've done seems to indicate that Skorm Snowstrider left part of his journal here after laying
He's
siege.
levitating.
Oh, hold on, I can explain.
Valmir, you rat. You're not a soldier at all. Must be one of the Thalmor.
Never should have come here.
We're routed! Fall back!
So, the mission is completed successfully. We can't take from this without stealing. So I think we're all done. I should just mention, I forgot to say this at the start, the tower that you travel through in order to get here in the first place, that I started the video at, there is actually an expert locked chest in there. So I don't know why I forgot to mention that right at the beginning of the video, but there we are. And this is the main prize from this mission, obviously. Rahgot increases stamina by 70 points. It's probably the weakest, actually, of all the Dragon Priest masks, but some may find it useful. And thank you very much for watching. Bye bye.